We've done many a pizza on this channel, some of the most legendary, but today we're making the king of all pizzas. Okay, so today we're making Neapolitan pizza. Instead of just doing that, I thought, well, let's take two traditional pizzas, put them together and see if there's a true winner. It's gonna be a traditional Neapolitan pizza, margherita, and a traditional Roman pizza. There are many kinds, but one specific kind.
Battle it out.
When it comes to a proper Italian pizza, there is no corner cutting. Because if you cut the corner, then the Italians, they cut you. They're probably watching right now, thinking like, what's he gonna do? Better not fuck this up. That presents a major challenge. How do you do it at home? Is it even possible? And that's where today's sponsor, Uni, comes in. If you're at all into the cooking space and you watch cooking channels or you're into food or whatever, I don't see how it's even physically possible that you've never heard of an Uni pizza oven. It is the answer to all of your home pizza oven questions you've ever had. I know this is sponsored, but I've cooked in a lot of different ovens in my career, and all I have to say is this is genuinely the best home pizza oven that's not like gigantic in a massive dome that takes up like 500 square feet of space, that makes the most beautiful, perfectly cooked Neapolitan pizza I've ever had. And it goes beyond that. You can cook vegetables and all sorts of things in it. But today we're talking about Neapolitan pizza. So with all that said, let's make this, shall we?
Okay, we're gonna keep this a clean, organized, firm, yet delicate fight. Not sure if that's even possible. So we have two Italian pizzas here. A classic Neapolitan pizza, done as close to tradition as physically possible, but within the home. And a Roman style pizza. But wait, not just any Roman pizza, specifically pizza al taglio. Italians? How's that, huh? Pretty good? We get a rating? Very nice. Either we have smiling Italians or they're already in the comments yelling at me. Thank you. Let's begin with my personal favorite, Neapolitan. I need everyone to just take a step back and listen up, brother. There are rules here. Let us consult the holy book de pizza. Number 1, the sauce must contain San Marzano tomatoes. Number 2, the flour must be type 0 or 00. Number 3, it must be cooked within 60 to 90 seconds at around 800 Fahrenheit. Let it be known that this isn't even close to all the rules, but we also don't have our entire lives to write them all out, but we're going to stick as close as possible to these rules while at home. So first, let's start with our dough, which is the foundation here. Start off with 512 grams of filtered water, heated exactly to 95 Fahrenheit, and you see how I said exact? I mean
Exact.
Papa no quis, if you don't keep exact numbers. So to your water, you're gonna add 3 to 4 grams of instant yeast. If it's more warm and humid in your area, then go with the lower number in yeast. Stir that together and let that sit for 5 minutes. Then in a large bowl, add 800 grams of 00 tipo flour, followed by 16 grams of fine sea salt. Mix that together with the flour until incorporated. Then to your flour, add all of your water and mix by hand. Yes, you wanna touch the dough to create the connection of human and pizza. Mix that just until a shaggy dough forms and the flour is fully hydrated. Cover with plastic wrap and let it rest at room temperature for 20 minutes. From there, you'll remove your dough from the bowl, place it on a work surface, and give it some good old slap and folds. Oh, you don't know what slap and folding is? It's actually exactly what it sounds like. You pick the dough up, you slap the bottom of it down, then throw and fold it over itself. Then repeat that by picking it up not from the sides, but actually front to back like this, and then repeat the slap and fold motion for about 1 to 2 minutes or until the dough starts to turn smooth. Transfer that back to your bowl and rest for 15 more minutes. Then you guessed it, brother. Once again, slap and fold for 1 to 2 more minutes or until the dough is very supple and hardly sticks to the counter. Roll it into a taut ball, grease your bowl with extra virgin olive oil, and place it back into the bowl, cover completely with plastic wrap. And I mean, if you're neurotic like me, then really you want to cater wrap this motherfucker. Now, place in the refrigerator for your dough son to have a beautiful slumber for 14 to 18 hours. This is essential in developing additional flavor in the dough, but could transversely be done at room temp in about 4 to 6 hours. Once your little man has had a good night's rest, give him a kiss, then punch all of the air out of him, leaving him deflated and ready to shape into what you desire, not what he desires. Just kidding, his life goal is to become a Neapolitan pizza. To keep things exact, you're then going to divide your dough into 5 even pieces, which should be really about 250 grams each. Then squish out any excess air, fold the sides to the middle, flip it so it's seam side down, and then roll it in circles on the counter, keeping constant contact with the counter until you get a medium doit ball. Place that into a proofing box or rimmed baking sheet that's dusted with flour and repeat with all of your pieces of dough. Be sure to leave at least 1.5 inches of space in between each ball to account for spreading when they relax. Now cover that with its lid or another inverted rim baking sheet and let that proof at room temp for 3 to 4 hours or until they're easy to stretch and maneuver and very lightly puffed. While those are proofing, let's quickly make our sauce. Very simply, you'll need one 24-ounce can of proper peeled San Marzano tomatoes, or fresh ones if you can get them. Bless if you can. Take them out of the can and lightly squeeze out their excess water, out over a sieve, set in a bowl, add all of your flesh, that's tomato flesh, to a food processor along with 2 cloves of garlic and 2.5 tablespoons or 35 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. Process that until extremely smooth, season to taste with salt and an optional light pinch of sugar to mellow the acidity. Blend that in, then just pass through a fine mesh sieve or chinois. Really be sure to push out as much of the pulp as you can, leaving only the seeds behind. Otherwise, you'll just have tomato water. Then there you go, that's your fresh tomato sauce. For the cheese, you just need buffalo mozzarella, but if you want to get specific, anything from Campania will likely be ideal. And if it's super then drain it on a paper towel to, get that moistness to calm down, brother. All right, before you shape your pizza, you're gonna preheat your pizza oven. Here, I'm using the brand new Unicaru 16. Pick your fuel of choice. You wanna do whole wood? Then pop in your wood, light up, and let her rip. You want charcoal? Cool. Toss those bad boys in and let hellfire rain down upon it. Or if you wanna be Mr. Scientist and fully control the temperature, then connect it to a big, fatty propane tank and get it pumping. Whichever fuel option you want is up to you, but whatever you do, just let it preheat for 15 minutes until it reaches 800 to 850 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, it's that quick. And the chances of you getting that in a home oven is virtually impossible unless you develop some kind of rig that allows it to reach a temperature like that, but I'm pretty sure if you do that, the fire marshal will want to have a conversation. Now once your oven is piping hot, snag a dough round and place it on a generously floured pizza peel. Flour the top of your round and then using your fist, punch it down, leaving a very thin border that's slightly thicker than the rest. Then once you're done, drape the dough over closed fists and stretch and turn by hand repeatedly until you get about a 10 to 12 inch circle. From there, top it with just a couple tablespoons of your fresh tomato sauce, spread it around evenly, followed by a few pieces of torn mozzarella and a few leaves of basil. All right, here they come. Oh, Jess, you can't cook the basil. Shut up. I've seen it done both ways, literally in Italy, and you can debate all you want in the comments, but this pizza cooks in 90 seconds or less and the flavor can still contribute greatly. But if you're that worried, you can always add it at the end for the freshness of its own flavor. It's basil, okay? Relax. From there, carefully open up your uni, slide it in, close the door, and let it cook for 30 to 45 seconds or till puffed and one side starts to get some char. Then quickly turn it 180 degrees, close the door, and let it cook for another 30 to 45 seconds for an evenly, lightly charred pizza to emerge steaming and gleaming. Once you've pulled it out, hit it with a light drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and optionally a light sprinkle of flaky salt and fresh cracked black pepper, and that is your pizza. Simply repeat with the rest of your dough, and now you can enjoy the most beautifully blistered, puffy, and luxuriously aerated pizza. So good that angels will sing, cry, just for you in that pizza. Okay, we got that out of the way, so now we just need to worry about Mr. Roman. Surprisingly easier. Start with 432 grams of warm water around 95 Fahrenheit and whisk in 7 grams of instant yeast. Place it to the side, then in a large bowl, mix together 600 grams of bread flour. You can do double O tipo, but bread flour actually works better here. And 12 grams of fine sea salt. Now once your yeast is bloomed, whisk in 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil, and then pour all of that into your flour mix. Then it's the exact same mixing method as before. Mix by hand till just shaggy, cover and let rest for 15 to 20 minutes. By the way, resting period important. Don't try and skip it. Papa no quis, alright? Anyway, slap and fold, rest 15 minutes, slap and fold again, and then cover and place in the fridge for 14 to 18 hours. See what I'm saying? It's easy. The next day, get yourself a good old-fashioned baking sheet, coat it generously with olive oil, then dump your dough, which has been degassed. Not like farted, but you punch it down. That's degassing. Anyway, gently spread it out as close to the edges as you can. It will resist a little bit, just keep trying, it'll get there. Cover that with another inverted baking sheet, wrap tightly with plastic wrap, and proof at room temperature for 2 hours. Now while that's proofing, let's make our sauce and toppings. Oh, also preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit because it's gonna take some time to get hot. Who's this donkey? For the sauce, you're gonna add 2 ounces or 56 grams of diced pancetta, followed by a tablespoon or so of olive oil in a medium saucepan. Heat that over medium heat. There's a lot of heating in mediums going on right now. Once that starts to render its fat out, let it cook, stirring occasionally for about 2 to 4 minutes or until your pancetta is brown and crisp. Then add 4 cloves of thinly sliced garlic, saute that for about a minute or until toasted and golden brown. Optionally, you can toss in a teaspoon of red chili flakes if you need a little bit of spice. Stir that in and let that toast. Then add in 1 24-ounce can of crushed San Marzano tomatoes. Stir that together. Bring to a boil, then lower the heat to low and let that simmer for 5 minutes or until slightly reduced. Season to taste with salt and a small pinch of sugar to curb the acidity. Then stir in 4 tablespoons or 60 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. And that right there is a knee-slapping good time of a sauce. Now since this pizza is a big man, we're gonna do 3 different toppings on one pizza. A mushroom onion topping, a plain cheese topping, which is the base I guess, and a pepperoni. For the mushroom mushroom topping, it's real simple. Start with 6 ounces or 170 grams of button mushrooms. Cut those into 8s or quarters depending on their size. In a large skillet, add just enough vegetable oil to coat the bottom of the pan entirely. Heat that over medium-high until reaping hot. Then add in your mushrooms cut side down, trying not to overcrowd, and let that sear for about 2 minutes or until deeply brown. Give them a toss, let them continue to cook until soft. Then season to taste with salt and black pepper, and that's your mushroom. Now place those in a bowl, clean out that same pan, heat it back up over medium-high, add another tablespoon or so of oil, and add in 1 rough diced onion. Saute that for 4 minutes or just until softened. Season to taste with salt, add to your mushrooms, then to that you're gonna add 1 teaspoon of finely chopped fresh thyme leaves, toss together, and that's your onion mushroom. For the pepperoni, well, you just need to slice pepperoni. It's not that crazy, okay? It's not rocket science. It's pepperoni science, okay? You should know that by now. And if you wanna be a real G, of course you'll slice your own pepperoni, and you'll slice her nice and I went just under a ½ inch for each of my slices. What can I say? Like them chunky. Now, last of all is the cheese mix. You'll need about 2½ cups of grated low moisture mozzarella and 3/4 of a cup of fresh grated Parmigiano Reggiano. I think that was my best pronunciation of that ever. It's pretty good, right? Can I just get a round of applause, please? Just make me feel good about it. Now toss those together and you have a cheesy man. Now, let's say you've got your proof dough. Nice. And you've got the sauce plus toppings. Oh, nice, dude. Now you are allowed to assemble. First, take your dough's top off, hit it with a nice, generous layer of sauce, spread it around to coat the dough evenly. You will likely end up using about 3/4 of your sauce. The rest you can keep in the fridge for your pleasure. It's a, papa pleasure, if you will. From there, let it rain a torrential downpour of cheese to your heart's desire across the entire pizza, leaving a slight border, then hit 1/3 of the pizza with your onion mushroom, another 1/3 of it with, well, nothing because it's just cheese, and 1/3 with your pepperoni, which is arranged generously. Now pop that into your oven for 20 to 25 minutes or until the cheese is deeply browned and caramelized. Oh, is that burn, Josh? No, okay? Some parts are a touch charred, all right? But we want the cheese deeply browned. Is there a problem with that? No, it just means a little bit of crisp, kind of like a nice lasagna. Now, optionally, you can top your onion mushroom with some frisée and fresh shaved Parmigiano Reggiano, but that's up to you. This finalizes our second and last pizza. Which will it be? The famous classic Neapolitan or the Roman al taglio? You know, for the party people. One is a little more upscale and one is meant for a crowd. So let's taste test this bit and see if there's a true winner.
It's hot in here, it's hot outside, and it's hot as in that uni oven. Thank you, yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's funny because the pizza speaks for itself. Good Lord, the bottom's charred, the outside's charred. You know, a bit of acidity, just the smell, you know. Your brain, your caveman-like mind goes,
This is yummy, put it in you.
so we will. And just a quick, ooh. Oh my Lord. Look at this crumb structure. Here we go. Let me just stop myself for a second here. I feel like I've been transported to a terrace in Italy. I wake up and then I'm like, oh, I'm in Houston. But hey, this pizza brought me to a moment of bliss, and that's because of that precious oven. Now, Neapolitan pizza aside, let's talk about the Roman style pizza. Now, there are many different kinds of Roman pizza. We went with the al taglio. Not the best pronunciation. Okay. Pepperoni, a cheese, and whatever this is. I kind of want the onion one. Yeah, that's pretty busting too. This is a totally different experience. Crunch of the crust, ultra rich, deeply flavored. It like punches you in the face. You taste it and it tastes good, and then out of nowhere, the flavor's just like, bah! You're dead, you died. But then the flavor being so good brought you back to life. So you died, then you were resuscitated by the killer. And then the killer was like, it's okay, you're okay. And that was the experience. Okay, so weighing the two different pizzas, okay? What's it gonna be? Is there a winner? The answer is no. There's not a winner. They're completely different pizzas and they both deserve the righteous respect that they are owed. What's the choice here? Which one do you go with? Obviously, this is gonna be my favorite choice. Neapolitan pizza's been my favorite since I was a child. For those who just have a home oven, you can also just do this, okay? If you don't wanna spend the money on a ticket to go to Italy, is it the same as going to Italy? No, but it'll transport you to a terrace.
You wanna know what's plump, puffy, and slightly charred? Yeah, I bet you're confused now. B-roll.
guys, and that is it. So before I say anything, I just wanna say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Uni, for helping us out with this video, and of course, partnering with us and giving us this beautiful oven. It's a multi-purpose thing, man. You choose the gosh darn fuel, you make your own thing. Pop a pizza in there, throw some broccolini in there, got a goddamn meal. Now, these two pizzas, battling it out together. A true winner? It's hard to say. I don't know that there really is a true winner. It comes down to what you want in that moment. But if it was me, I'm probably always gonna go for a Neapolitan pizza. It's the most visceral of an experience. I feel like the other pizza's more of like, you know, a party pizza. You're with your homies, you're like, oh, I have a little bit of pizza square. It's so fun. Look, it's in a square. I can cut it with scissors. And there's so much, it's so voluminous. You see where I'm going with this? They both serve their purpose. There isn't one that's better than the other. They're both perfectly delicious, but it's up to you to make this pizza and find out for yourself. So with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking and nothing's actually happening. Like I'm not thinking of anything in my brain. There's just words coming out of my mouth, which I don't fully understand.